In our previous videos, we have seen how to implement state or attributes of an object and behavior or functionality of an object using instance variables and methods. Also, how to print data related to the object using toString method. Now, with the same car class example, let us learn what is a constructor. A constructor is a block of code that is used to initialize the object. It looks like a method, but while defining a constructor, there are two things that you should remember. Point number 1, name of the constructor should be same as that of a class name. Point number 2, constructor doesn't have a return type. So why do you need a constructor? You need constructor to initialize an object. You can initialize values to the instance variables using a constructor. Let us try understanding this concept by writing a constructor. I have rewritten the class car using a constructor. So this is my class car. Car object has 3 attributes: color, brand and type. Hence there are 3 instance variables declared in my class to store the data of the car object. Over here string is the data type, color, brand, type are the 3 instance variables. Now this block of code is called as a constructor. Syntax for constructor definition is: constructor should have same name as the class name. Our class name is car, hence the constructor name is also car, followed with empty parenthesis, open the curly bracket, close the curly bracket, and you can initialize the instance variables inside the constructor. Next is we have written toString method. We are overriding toString method so that you print the object data. This method will be invoked automatically and it will return the data assigned to the instance variables. Let us now see how the execution happens. I have written a separate class for main method. My class name is constructor demo. Execution of the program will start from the main method. First statement over here is we have created an object car cr equal to new car. When the interpreter will read this statement, a car object is created inside the heap and reference variable cr is stored inside the stack. So this is the reference variable and object is created inside the heap. And this reference variable cr will have address of the car object residing on the heap. So now cr will point towards the object. Now how does this car object looks inside the memory? We have defined 3 instance variables, that is color, brand and type. Instance variables are used to define the object data. Every object will have a copy of its own instance variables. Hence, when object cr is created, memory for all the instance variables will be reserved inside the object. Hence, instance variable color, brand and type are reserved inside object cr. Now from where is this data coming? The moment an object is created, the interpreter automatically gives a call to the constructor of the class. So whenever you create an object, car cr equal to new keyword allocates memory to the object, and you can see this is a constructor call, car parenthesis. So the interpreter will check the code inside the car class whether it has a constructor named car with empty parenthesis, and when it finds the matching constructor, the control of the program from here will go to the definition of the constructor. So from here, control of the program goes over here and the code inside the constructor will execute. So what code are we writing? We are initializing the instance variables. So the first statement color equal to red. Memory for instance variable color is already reserved inside the object. We are assigning value to it. So color equal to red. Over here, color variable will have its value red. Next statement, brand equal to BMW. Brand variable will have value BMW. Type equal to sedan. Instance variable type will have value sedan. So this is how we initialize an object using a constructor. We have written one more statement inside the constructor, that is system.out.println. It will print this is a default constructor. Now what is a default constructor? You can see while creating an object, these parentheses are empty. We are not sending any arguments to the constructor. So an object which has no arguments gives a call to the constructor which has no parameters inside it. Constructor with no parameters is called as a default constructor. So the point to remember is call to the constructor goes automatically when your object is created. Next statement we are writing is system.out.println and we are trying to print the object. Whenever you print the object, the control of the program goes to toString method automatically and code inside the toString method will execute. Now what are we returning? We are returning a string. Color equal to will be returned as it is. Instance variable color will retrieve its value red from object CR. Then brand equal to will be returned as it is. Instance variable brand will retrieve its value BMW from object CR. And type equal to, this is a string inside the double quotation marks. It will be written as it is. Instance variable type will retrieve value sedan from object CR. So this whole string will be written back to the println method. So control will come back here and the returned string which contains object data will be printed. Now what is the next line? We are creating one more object. What happens when you create one more object? Car CR1 equal to new car. A new object will be created inside the memory. Reference variable will be stored on the stack and actual object will be created on the heap. And address of the object is stored inside the reference variable CR. And every object has its own copy of instance variables. Hence object CR1 will also have its copy of instance variables. So memory for instance variables will be reserved inside object CR. And whenever you create an object, an implicit call goes to the constructor. So from here, control of the program will go to the default constructor as we are creating object with no argument. Control of the program will come over here and code inside the default constructor will execute. Again, color equal to red. This value will be assigned to the instance variable color inside object CR1. Brand equal to BMW. This value will be assigned to the instance variable brand inside object CR1. And same with type equal to sedan. This value will be stored inside object CR1. Next statement system.out.println. This is a default constructor will be printed to the output screen. After execution of the code, the control will come back to the point from where it was called and next statement is executed. That is, we are trying to print system.out.println CR1. When you try to print the object, an implicit call goes to the toString method. So again, this whole string will be written back and data of object CR1 will be printed. So what are the key points? Constructor is used to initialize an object. Call to the constructor is given automatically when the object is created. What happens when you don't write a constructor? Where does the call goes? In our previous examples, we have created an object but not written the code for constructor. So when you don't write any constructor in your class, a compiler inserts a default constructor into your code on your behalf during compilation and it is present in the bytecode. So even though if you don't write a constructor, the call to the constructor goes when the object is created. But the constructor inserted by the compiler has no code in it. It is just empty parameters. So it will look like car, curly brackets and close the curly bracket. So this will be the code inserted by the compiler in your program if you don't write any constructor. So when you create an object, call to the constructor goes implicitly. Over here, as there is no code, nothing is executed and call comes back. This process happens. So this was all about default constructor.